there is today a growing market of well, surveillance and of course restriction of civil liberties, and in this market the different parts that are involved are of course companies and from the private sector, and on the other side of course governments, and we have to take this into account so that we can help users to develop strategies to counter this kind of situation and to become aware of this kind of threats and risks for their privacy. Well, everything on platforms such as Facebook has to be conceived or construed as a glorified questionnaire, a glorified commercial questionnaire. Everything is always about what do you like, what would you buy, and eventually what do your friends like, and what would they buy? Do they share your interest for, I don't know, obscure music, or for this special kind of movies, and so on and so on? If you bought this, would they buy this, and so on and so on. I don't want to only, stress the commercial part of it. Some of those data are sold to governments, and I'm thinking about your government and mine. They buy those data, and they actually publish the price that they pay for those data. If they want to buy your emails, they have to pay a certain amount of money. And in some cases, and this is where the situation becomes extremely disturbing and dangerous and explosive from a political point of view, in some cases when they do not pay, well, this is where the situation becomes, the kind of a surveillance scandal like the one that was created by Edward Snowden in 2013, when eventually Google discovered that some US authorities were, just using their data like it was open bar. They were getting in, taking the data without having, any kind of control or audit on the kind of data they were using, and so on and so on. So eventually this kind of revelation, this kind of leaks, where, and the one associated with figureheads like, I don't know, Chelsea Manning or Julian Assange or Edward Snowden, are important because they show the extent of this kind of military, commercial, industrial complex of which social media, digital platforms in general, and advertising and government surveillance bodies are involved, and they are all in bed, and the bed is called mass surveillance actually. I think that today we are facing a change in the paradigm of privacy. What our grandparents used to call privacy was something that they inherited from a legal and judicial tradition that dates back to the 19th century. And in this model, this information was always sensitive for everyone. Health, sexual orientation, political preferences, religious opinions, and so on, or beliefs. These were the same for everyone in that model, in that old model. Now, what happens is that today we do not have a clear definition of what's sensitive information. Sensitive information changes from one person to another, from one country to another, from one platform to another. If I'm online, I want to share my medical information with my doctor. If I'm, I don't know, on a health-oriented platform, but I don't want to share it, I don't know, with my friends on a mainstream social media, not on Twitter, for instance. I want to share my religious beliefs or sexual preferences if I'm, I don't know, if I'm on a dating site, but I don't want to share it with my professional contacts on LinkedIn. So the fact of having to constantly negotiate through all these platforms actually puts us in a situation which is completely different. And so this is why we call this new paradigm of privacy as negotiation. It's a negotiation between any one of us, between you and me, you and your friends, and so on and so on. But